So I want to just go ahead and point you to our Atlanta News First app, our free mobile news app, or atlantanewsfirst.com if you want to check out all the schools that are closed or delayed or have gone virtual for today. Just given, the weather, obviously, the weather has been much better than what we saw on Friday, right? But there is still a lot of residual snow that we've seen and ice, especially on the side roads, sidewalks, and so forth. So definitely a lot of schools that are still closed or delayed this morning as the snow and ice have not been completely either melted or removed in parts of the metro. So just want to let you know that there are 9 county school districts that are closed today. Those include Catoosa, Habersham, Walker, and Whitfield counties. And again, encourage you to go to atlantanewsfirst.com or our free app if you want to see the entire list. A few schools are also on a delayed start this morning, including Dalton Public Schools, Hall County, and Gordon County. And again, if you want to see the full list of schools impacted by the weather, please visit atlantanewsfirst.com or our free mobile news app. Okay, let's talk about the airport. That is some positive news that we can share regarding the airport that, well, delays and cancellations have dropped dramatically following the winter storm. Really, it was a nightmare for travelers. Many of them said, during the course of that storm. So right now, all the runways are operational. At the height of this weekend's delays, some people actually had to wait for hours just to get through security. And those delays were blamed on full ground stops during the snow on Friday. Airport officials say there could still be some slight delays this morning for de-icing and, certainly a bit of a backup given everything that happened. But thankfully, things seem to be back to normal at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, the world's busiest airport. Okay, let's talk about your MARTA service and how you're going to be impacted if you use MARTA as well. Well, I have good news for you. MARTA is back to normal today after the winter weather stopped service on Friday. So the transit agency is still watching road conditions, making sure that their buses can safely navigate the streets, always something to be careful of. And they plan to resume full weekday service today. They do say rail service is also operating as scheduled as well, along with mobility services and the streetcar. So, definitely some positive news for people who rely on MARTA. Absolutely happy to share that with you. Okay, let's talk about the latest with the YSL case because it's something that we've been covering for you from start to finish here on Atlanta News First and Atlanta News First Plus. Well, there is a hearing today. There are actually 2 court hearings just this week for the remaining YSL RICO trial co-defendants. But this morning, actually, really as I speak, Christian Eppinger is scheduled to face a judge for a motions hearing. In addition, Tanquarius Mender is going to be in court on Friday for a final plea. And as we've reported to you extensively, this trial really centered around famed rapper Young Thug, who was accused of co-founding a violent street gang under the guise of a record label, YSL, and he pled guilty to several charges. And, we brought you the trial for several of the defendants just late last year, and we brought you that verdict as it came down here on Atlanta News First and Atlanta News First Plus. But again, 2 of the YSL co-defendants are in court this week. So this case has not quite gone away. So we're going to keep following the latest for you right here. And, we have a whole section on our website, atlantanewsfirst.com. Okay, let's talk about what's happening at Appalachia High School today. So teachers and students will take a virtual learning day today, and they're giving workers room to install a new weapons detection system at Appalachia High. And of course, we all remember that school was the site of that horrific mass shooting back in September, on September 4th. Really shook so many, not only in that community, but around the state and really around the nation. It killed 2 students and 2 teachers. And then just last week, another student was caught with a gun. Atlanta News First Blake Devine spoke to advocates who say what's happening today really should have been done months ago.
Students are still scheduled for a digital learning day as the Barrow County school system says tomorrow's campus closure will allow its staff to familiarize themselves with the new weapons detection system that they're putting in place immediately. On Wednesday, a 14-year-old freshman managed to bring a gun into Appalachia High School before being arrested.
It's just going to be at school. I think it's anywhere they go.
Parents such as Sean Schultz, who has a 16-year-old son at the school, are still upset as this comes just 4 months after a deadly school shooting claimed the lives of 2 students and 2 teachers here at the high school.
There are several students who watched people lose their life, so it's definitely impacted them for the rest of their lives. And it was discouraging, I think, to the most of them that I had spoke to that nothing was happening.
Late last week, the Barrow County Board of Education held an emergency meeting, unanimously voting to purchase and install an open-gate weapons detection system at all 3 of its high schools.
In my mind, should have been step 1 from the beginning. Since September, this should have been already in place, realistically.
Layla Contreras is an Appalachia alum.
That's just the idea that I've heard.
Who criticized the school board for not prioritizing safety sooner.
Thinking that lightning doesn't strike twice, even though it got kind of close on Wednesday.
Safety! We want it now! For the first time since September, students and parents have hope with this new safety measure being put in place.
They have a sense of relief. School should be a place for learning, and they shouldn't have to be in fear all the time.
Just the kids knowing that there are starting to be things put into place to prevent that kind of stuff from happening, I think is, for my son personally, I know is a huge relief for him.
As of now, the plan is for students to come back to campus on Tuesday. The district is asking kids to arrive on campus 15 minutes early in order to walk through the weapons detection system. Reporting in Winder, Blake Devine, Atlanta News First.
And you know, obviously with the situation at Appalachia High School, that virtual learning day is not just for the weather, but for the new weapons detection system. But just a reminder, go to atlantanewsfirst.com or our Atlanta News First app to check out the full list of closures, virtual learning days, and delayed starts due to the weather that we've been dealing with. Speaking of that weather, let's send it over to First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazi, because you know what? At least we get some sunshine today.
Yeah, and we got a lot of sunshine yesterday as well. Yesterday, I don't know about you guys at home, but I was so happy to see the sun come out from start to finish. It was just beautiful. It allowed all that snow that was left on the ground to just glisten one more time before we got rid of it. A lot of it did melt. Some of it is still out there, especially any of these snow-covered spots that are more so in shaded areas. But we did pick up a good bit of snow, and of course the ice that accumulated on top of that. So it's going to take more than just one day of sunshine to get rid of it all. But by the end of today, we should probably be said and done with most of the leftover snow that's on the ground, and ice for that matter. But any of the spots that are in the shade, that might take just a little bit longer. So what you're looking at is a first alert weather day for Saturday. We'll get you ready for the next big thing that we have, and that's going to be Saturday. A cold front's going to move through. I'm First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazi, by the way. And what that's going to do is bring us widespread wet weather. It doesn't look like we're going to have any winter weather with this, thankfully. But you'll want to have alternative plans if you have any plans for Saturday. Probably best to start thinking about an indoor plan rather than an outdoor plan. The timing needs some work. Originally, we were thinking this was going to come through in the morning. Now maybe it could be the second half of the day. The forecast is naturally going to change this event, of course, not until Saturday, so plenty of room for some adjustments there, and we'll continue to make adjustments to that timing so you can plan out your weekend. Of course, rain on a Saturday, you're going to want to know the exact timing, and as soon as we know more about what that timing looks like, we will let you know. For now, let's get you through today because we will see a lot of sunshine. After a pretty cold start to the morning, we were in the low 30s for the most part this morning. We'll be in the mid 40s around your lunchtime. So if you have errands to run today, maybe trying to just catch back up from the winter weather over the weekend, if you had to stay put and today you're going back out and about, just know you'll need some layers. You won't necessarily need the thick winter coat, but you will need at least a thicker jacket today. And we'll head into the low 50s this afternoon again with a lot of sunshine. And then through the evening tonight, temperatures drop back into the 30s around 9. Now, overnight tonight, which I'll show you our lows in just a second, right now, we'll head into the low to mid 20s. So we'll be a little colder overnight, and that's because we won't have as much cloud cover to kind of blanket us overnight. So that will allow temperatures to drop quicker. We'll wake up in the upper 20s in the city of Atlanta, but a lot of our suburbs in the low 20s. So make sure you grab those coats heading out tomorrow morning, and you'll definitely need to keep the layers all day long. High temperatures tomorrow, low to mid 40s area wide, a few low 50s sprinkled in there south of the city and south and east of the city. So in the afternoon, you might be able to take a couple of those layers off, but it will start to get a little breezy tomorrow. We could experience wind gusts upwards of 20 to 25 miles per hour. So it'll add to the chill in the air, especially if you're in the shade. High temperatures will gradually warm through the week, though. We'll have a nice warming trend. We'll be in the mid-50s Thursday, which is probably going to feel warm to us after the last couple of days. Closer to 60 degrees on Friday and Saturday. Now, that temperature on Saturday, I will say, is all dependent on the timing of the rain. The later the rain moves in, the warmer will be through the afternoon. The earlier the rain moves in, the cooler will be. But right now, we'll say mid-50s for our first alert weather day because of the rain. So let's take you through first alert futurecast here. Maybe a few showers could roll in on Friday night. Models are kind of pulling back on that, slowing this front down a little bit. But if you have any late evening plans on Friday, you could very well have a few showers. Clouds will build through the day on Friday as well. And then Saturday morning, showers will be likely. And again, this timing could change. Some models are thinking this will be a later day event, but it is possible that the first half of the day ends up pretty rainy. And this isn't necessarily going to be the quickest moving system. So a majority of Saturday could end up fairly wet. Notice still kind of lingering into Saturday afternoon and evening. And then as the front kind of moves south of us on Sunday, it's going to start to get quite cold. But because this front could potentially linger throughout the day, it's going to take a little longer for that colder air to move in. So Sunday's not going to be frigid. It'll be Monday of next week that looks really cold. But notice temperatures will be dropping on Sunday, and we could have a few wraparound flurries in the mountains. Not expecting any accumulating snow, but this weather system could very well bring some wraparound moisture in the form of a few quick passing snowflakes in the mountains on Sunday afternoon and evening. Again, no major winter weather with this. It's all going to be rain. And in fact, we're not looking at any severe weather with this either as of right now, which is great news. So here's a look at that first alert 7-day forecast. At 20% coverage of rain, mainly south of I-20 today. A few of you probably already experienced the light drizzle out there. We'll wake up in the low to mid 20s tomorrow morning, maybe a few teens in the higher elevations tomorrow morning, so you'll definitely need the coat. Sunshine in upper 40s tomorrow. So between today and tomorrow, a lot of that snow and ice should melt. We should be back to normal business when it comes to what our typical scenery looks like as we head into tomorrow. But of course, it's probably going to be a little bit mushy. I know that my neighborhood, after all the snow and ice started to melt, the ground was just muddy and gross. So it's going to go from that beautiful white snow dust covered floor to just mush and mud, which isn't great, but that's okay. You have to deal with it. And so as we go into Wednesday morning, we'll be in the 20s, highs near 50. It'll be breezy starting tonight. The wind will pick up because a cold front's moving through today, naturally leading us into the colder morning tomorrow, but it will stay breezy through Wednesday. Closer to 60 degrees on Friday, maybe a stray shower Friday night ahead of our first alert weather day for widespread rain on Saturday. The timing needs work, but again, right now, just start thinking about alternative plans if you had anything to do outdoors on Saturday. A few showers could linger into Sunday. We'll hold on to those cloudy skies. We'll wake up in the low 40s, and temperatures will only warm into the upper 40s in the afternoon as that cold air will be actively spilling in through the day on Sunday, leading into a very cold Monday, which will be on the 7-day forecast tomorrow. So you'll want to stay tuned for that to see just how cold we'll be heading into next week. All right, everyone. Thank you, as always, for joining us for your local news and your weather this morning. We will continue to keep an eye on that first alert weather day on Saturday for you. Stay warm today. Be careful on the roadways because there are a few slick spots still out there. Those should all melt away today, hopefully. And we'll catch you here next time. Thanks for staying with us.